Here we go again. Welcome to Tokyo, everybody. You can see I'm trying to stay cool as an ambulance goes by. You never know what's going to happen in a live stream here. This is nice. These jets do cool me down just a little bit, but it sure is steamy here in the city. I see Carrie is here. Hope to catch up with you. But today, I want to talk about the accommodation tax increases that are going to be going on. It will raise the price of accommodations. Not all the country does this. In fact, the countryside of Japan, very few places do that. It's just in places in particular where there are a lot of foreign tourists. Domestic tourism is all over the place, but in particular foreign tourists, and they're going to be used for a lot of different things. And I'm going to actually break down what the municipalities, 92 new ones, are going to be raising the taxes or adding lodging taxes on to them. How they're going to be using those taxes is the greatest concern of everybody who is paying into this. In fact, the locals as well. So this is something that is of deep concern of me too, because I don't want to pay more than I have to pay, and I'm already paying a lot more than I used to. That's just part of life. All right, let's break this down here. This is a map of, I'll bring this larger here, of the places that right now have accommodation taxes as of spring of 2025. We started, Nagasaki certainly did. I paid for that when I was there. Fukuoka City and the prefecture, Osaka prefecture, Kyoto, which is the highest by far in the entire country. It's a special place. Tokyo has one. It's not nearly as bad, but Niseko, it's getting up there because of the popularity of the ski season. The foreign tourism up in Niseko is crazy busy, but we'll talk about that in a second. And Akaigawa is one of the new places where foreign tourists are going to be paying a little bit more for their accommodations, but a lot of it has to do in the tourist areas, but now and Atami there as well, which is an onsen town. But now everyone's getting in on this, and it's a trend that's worldwide. It's not really just for Japan here. We're going to break this all down. I'm kind of excited about it. Bradshaw Studio is in the house. Thank you very much. We just take a look at the Hokkaido. Let's look at some of the places right now. From April 2026, Hokkaido will introduce a regional lodging tax, Hokkaido Prefecture. So if your accommodation is under 20,000 yen, you'll pay 100 yen. That's not a lot. In the mid-range, is that mid-range? That's high range for me. That's 200 yen, and 50,000 yen or more, 500 yen. That is really, really cheap actually for accommodation tax, because when we look at its competitor, which is Kyoto, they're a special place, as I said. So under 6,000 yen, which is like a capsule hotel, it's 200 yen. But when you get to 100,000 yen or more, which are like the five-star hotels, the places that have suites and stuff, you're going to pay 10,000 yen a night, which is a lot. That's a 10%. But most people are paying between 6,000 and 20,000 yen per night, I think, which will increase in 2026 from 200 to 400 yen. So they're doubling the rate, unless you have a El Cheapo place. They're doubling the rate of the accommodations in Kyoto in 2026, which makes me think, like, what the heck are they using it for? Let's just do a quick look at Osaka too, which is next door. They're dropping the rate. Effective September 1st, the minimum accommodation threshold drops from 7,000 to 5,000. Tax rates do increase 100 to 200 yen for mid-range, but the threshold, again, like was 7,000 yen to 5. Oh, okay, so sorry, that's my fault. I kind of made a mistake here. So if accommodation is 5,000 yen, there's a tax now. So I thought like Osaka got cheaper, really? No, that's not the case. So you can see there's an increase in Osaka as well, and I think everywhere that has an accommodation tax is going to be raising it up. Artists with cameras, thank you so much. And Michael Sassano, aloha, my brother, mahalo. Not surprised that prices for travel costs are increasing. Thank you very much. We will do what we can. I started the stream a little late because two really nice people from the Philippines noticed me on the sidewalk, and then we got a selfie picture, which was fun. They're really polite about it too, because they knew I had my camera in hand. It's like, okay. That's really flattering that people recognize me out on the streets here. So I want to break down now what is going on here. So Let's look at this article that came out just today. There's a massive tourism surge here. Of course, everybody knows we're going to hit 40 million tourists, exceeded, despite the earthquake rumors, which we knew were probably going to be nothing. 92 Japan municipalities are now thinking about the tax. Most of these municipalities are places where there is some foreign tourism. Some of them are surprising, like, I guess they need a little bit of money more to make things better. But I guess they all had a meeting and they took polls, and Kyodo News, which is a great news outlet, I highly recommend bookmarking them. They have one in English. A total of 42 municipalities have either introduced or plan to introduce lodging taxes. The figure will rise. It's not likely, it's like 100% going to rise. The survey between June and July of this year, 1,700 local governments, 96% responded to this survey, which is incredible. The lodging tax, so basically there's about 18 or 1,900 local governments. That's a lot. Japan is a big place. To introduce a lodging tax, local governments must enact an ordinance and gain approval of the Minister of Internal Affairs and Communications. So the federal government in Japan has to approve it in order to get a lodging tax in Japan. That's interesting information. You can't just initiate one. Out of the 35 governments that have already obtained approval, 12 had implemented lodging taxes as of end of July. Remaining 23 plan to do so by 2026. The places that already had lodging taxes I kind of showed you: Osaka, Kyoto, Tokyo is well in there, Hokkaido. According to the survey, at least 7 local governments have already enacted the ordinances. I guess that's the ones that I showed you. Though they are yet to seriously consider it, 728 municipalities said that they are interested in the lodging taxes. 506 say that they are not interested. So the majority of municipalities that responded to that are interested in raising taxes. 60% said that they consider introducing lodging taxes, but decided not to do that. 60 of them, and 296 gave the answer other. I don't know what that means, but it's creative. This is interesting here. When asked about the intended use of the tax revenue in a multiple choice format, the most common response at 537 was develop tourism facilities. Interesting. But I'm not sure what that means, but I guess they don't have enough of them. 434 said that they would use it for promoting tourism in general. A lot of that gets wasted or thrown to ad agencies that are really exorbitant in prices that they charge. If you'd like to use your money more wisely, contact me. I'm happy to help at a fraction of the cost. Some 242 said that they would use the funds for, and I'll do a really good job too, for preservations of historical landscapes and natural environments. I'll look for local stories and find ways to emotionally connect with the audience. 228 said that they would improve infrastructure, and you guys know I would, accommodation for foreign visitors. So the only 228 of the 1,800, almost 1,800 municipalities said that they would improve infrastructure for foreign visitors. That's interesting. So this makes you really wonder, like, what direction is Japan going? It's pretty much the direction of every single place around the world right now that has an incredible tourism industry. Again, like this tourism in Japan, that's freaking amazing to me to see. All right, I moved here in '98, 27 years ago. Nobody wanted to visit me except for my friend Carmen in Madrid, my friend Tom, who I've known since fourth grade. My friend Jonathan came once, and then I never heard from him again. What's that all about? He's just busy. Who else came? My mom came 3 times. My family came because I was getting married. It was like I forced them to come. But yeah, my dad's only been once to Japan, and it took him 20 years to visit. He says his back hurts because the flight is long, but I think he could just do premium, maybe even just upgrade to business class. Leo would like to see him here. He asks like every time, when is Daddy coming here? So I think that there's a lot of places that you could obviously, these lodging taxes with tourism exploding is going to get bigger and get more popular over time. There's other stuff happening here that I want to talk about, but let's break it down here. So to me, this is one of the most fascinating places here. The main use of lodging taxes and revenue, tourism infrastructure and maintenance. Now, according to the poll, this was not one of the biggest things that they were using it for. So It's interesting that this is one of them, but I don't think this number is based on the priority. But it's one of the things that was listed in the things that they want to do with the tax money. I really think that a lot of the money that they do take gets wasted. I don't know. We don't know where it goes, actually. The funds go towards maintaining and upgrading tourism facilities, restrooms, signage, visitor centers, Wi-Fi access, hiking paths, cultural heritage sites. This is all very important stuff. I'm hoping that it all goes towards this kind of stuff anyways. But I think that I have seen, traveling Japan over the last couple of years, definite improvement in a lot of the facilities. A lot of it built in the 1980s during the bubble era have been revamped, renovated, torn up and put in something better and newer. So Kyoto intends to use its increased revenue for historic neighborhoods, improving visitor services and preventing wear on temples and streets. I want to talk about the temples and shrines in a second here. I think this is really fascinating stuff. 1 second, I'll pull up another one here. This is numbers 2 and 3. I'm just gonna glance at these. Environmental and cultural preservation. Hokkaido's new tax is explicitly directed on protecting natural and landscapes, wildlife, and ski resort infrastructures. I think they're talking about Niseko in particular. Niseko, there you go, and Kuchan, which are right next to each other. Popular with foreign skiers, mostly Australians. Hakuba is mostly Australians. It's amazing. And maybe it's not, but they're very visible. Already use tax revenue to manage waste, recycling, and protect mountain trails. Kyoto also earmarked funds for cultural property conservation. I like that. Again, we don't really know what they're breaking it down for, but that's pretty much where it should be going. Crowd control and over-tourism. Lodging tax revenue helps manage tourist congestion. They really need to do a better job of that in Kyoto, that's for sure. Let's look at the last two here, just really quickly. I'll put it on the side. Community support and local benefits. I think the local benefits are a good idea. Locals should get something out of the tax dollars. I think we would all agree on that, right? If they're taking money, there should be something that improves the city for the... They're seeing a benefit from the tourists coming, but the tourists are also, if you have that many of them, kind of a burden. So I would like to see tax dollars be earmarked for better bus or better transportation for locals, more options, and a better city for the locals as well. Because we all use it. Tourists will use the facilities that locals will use, so to increase the size of them or the staffing of them is probably a good idea. Promotion of sustainable tourism. This is super important. We're seeing it more and more as places get over-touristed or overly congested. Kyoto has to do a better job with their money. There's like no debate on this, with using it in proper ways. I think that the lobbying in Kyoto must be off the charts insane, because I see from the money they've taken in, which is extraordinary from taxes, I've seen marginal improvements. I've seen like cosmetic stuff that didn't make sense, where they could have used the money in places that would make a lot more sense. So I don't know if the, you know, the one thing that I love about Japan is also one of the things that's most challenging thing about Japan, maybe. There's the older you get, the more respect you get. The more white hair I show, the more people will show a natural respect towards me due to my matureness, my age, like a fine wine. I like that. So it doesn't matter whether or not you're the richest or the smartest, but you're the oldest. So you deserve a lot of respect for being, you know, I'm not talking about me, but elderly. And that's a good thing. But there's sometimes where people that are, you know, in upper years, like me, have an inability to change. And if they're the most listened to, and again, all the prime ministers of Japan, all of them are like over the age of 65. They should have retired. They need to get some young people in there, but again, it's hard to turn down that older generation that's just naturally respected. They do have wisdom and they do have experience, but they don't have that skill to be competitive in the 21st century. I see Taro Kono Taro, who is the digital minister, continues. I think it was on 60 Minutes, a show that I don't watch. I see clips on YouTube every now and then. He was interviewed about the population decrease and the direction of Japan, I think like 3 days ago. And you always see him. And he was a young man 10 years ago, and now he's like my age. So, I mean, if he's going to be prime minister, put him in there now. Then Koizumi's son is in there. So, I mean, Japan needs a little bit of energy and competitiveness, a spirit of competitiveness. Nothing against Ishiba, but seeing him fall asleep at the Nagasaki memorial service was somewhat disturbing to me. I know it's long. It's not even that long. I know it could get a little boring, but I don't know. You gotta show some energy, dude. I would not call him dude if I saw him in person, though. What was the other? Oh, so we're seeing like a lot of the people who take these tax dollars not use them in the best ways. They see them, they don't see the trends, or they're being consulted by the wrong people and they're probably paying a lot of money for that consultation. It's a hard thing, this culture. It's a hard thing because it's a consensus culture and you don't want to rock the boat. And if you say something that's radically different than what everybody is thinking, despite the fact that you're right, it doesn't matter. It's a risk because because everyone is thinking something else. It's interesting, right? So you kind of like, and you find half measures or quarter measures that sort of get what you want, but gets what most people want because if the majority agree, then there's less risk to them, despite the fact that there's probably more risk. But you need to have a lot of data, and this isn't for everybody, but you really need to have a lot of facts and data to back it up. But sometimes even getting that requires money. You can't go to AI for everything, right? You actually got to ask the people because AI hallucinates. Dale is here. How you doing, Dale? Thank you very much for that. So you got a red star there. I'm so out of touch with the younger generation. Carl, I'm going to be honest with you, Carl. I don't think the younger generation knows what the heck they want. I think the older generation is telling us what the younger generation is interested in, and the younger generation isn't exactly telling us what they're interested in. Therefore, what the younger generation actually wants is not what older people think that they know the younger generation, what they think that they want. Because they're not hearing enough from the younger generation, perhaps. They're being marketed to. Younger people are very easy to leave impressions on, to be influenced, and older people, especially in the marketing field, do a good job of marketing the younger people and try to create these trends. But if younger people weren't marketed to, what the heck would they want? Probably the same things. I gotta be honest with you. You can't market to me well, you can a little bit, but it's really hard to market to someone in their 50s. But people in their teens and 20s, a lot easier to market to try to be quote unquote cool and whatnot. But I think younger people, and this is the great thing about the internet and about having so much information thrown at you, they are not, the younger generation, they are not as impacted as we are, like they get all that information, and a lot of them are learning, learning to have a better sense of what's crap and what isn't. I'm seeing it. It's very fascinating. So what younger people want, I think, is manufactured by older people to sell stuff. But in the end, I think that younger people are eventually going to get a handle on this, and that older generation will realize that they can't manipulate the younger generation like they used to. A proper pint. Well, thank you very much. That actually is enough for a proper pint. I appreciate that. We got a lot of family here. Jason also here. Jason from Canada. A lot of family in Canada. I love Canada. We were watching Toy Story. Just a shout out to our Canadians. We were watching Toy Story, and Leo, who's obsessed with geography, started to talk about Canada because he saw the Duke Kaboom character. Yes, I Canada. And we were talking about it for quite a long time, looking at the map and showing, where's Duke Kaboom? Canada's so big. Where's Duke Kaboom coming? I said, I don't know. He's probably from either Toronto, or maybe he's from, I don't know, Yukon, Saskatchewan. We're going through all the geography, so I thought that was funny. That's a great character too. Having turned 45, am I part of the older generation already? Only if you feel you are. I'm not. I'm part of Leo's generation. My son's 4. I feel like I'm part of that generation. I'm actually here for a reason. I was at the Mont Bell we'll talk a little bit more about this. There's some more stuff to. Sorry about that. They actually have bear spray. I would recommend getting one of 3 brands. A lot of stuff that's made in China is not really good. This creates a mist. If you're going hiking in Japan these days, I highly recommend getting the bear spray. But what I found with Montbell, what they're doing here, I bought the bear spray. It's good for 4 years. They actually are renting this. Do you see that there's a blue tag down there? I didn't really cover it here. Hold it. Did I get it there? There it is. You can kind of see it there. It's 3 days. You can rent the bear spray for 3 days. That's what a lot of hiking trips are. Because the bear spray in Japan costs about 12,000 yen for the smaller cans, like real bear spray, the stuff that'll work. In Japan, it's half. In the U.S., it's half the price, but it's got to be imported here. So a lot of people don't want to buy a whole can of bear spray. So you can rent it 3 days for 2,500 yen. I just bought the can from Big Camera, which is the electronics store. But I also realized you need a special pouch for it, and Montbell has a couple of holsters. If you guys know about bear spray and you need to know about holsters, you want to whip it out and be able to have it. If there's a bear attacking, they're running at you like 30, 40 miles an hour, right? You're gonna whip that can of bear spray out, aim it down low so the mist goes where they try to attack you like this. I've been studying this up here. And the bear spray, they get down on it like this, they roll their teeth like this. There's usually a fake charge, but if you can just do a burst of spray and get them to back off, they smell that pepper, and they get the heck out of there, that's ideal. But if you gotta spray it and dump the whole can, a lot of times you just gotta spray until it's done. $100 saved your life. Gotta get a good spray. So we're seeing tons and tons of bear attacks, like every day there's a new one. So I got a can of the bear spray for a hike I'm doing for a main channel episode with a client who I'm going to do a really good job with this video looking at a trail in the Nagano region. So Hokkaido's worse with the bears. They're coming into like the outskirts of Sapporo and residential areas and attacking people, but the mountains of central Japan have an increase in bear attacks. And Tohoku as well. But you need to have the bears. You can't have munitions. You can't have guns and stuff in Japan. So bear spray is actually very effective, but you have to have a good one. One that sprays a mist that'll go out like 5 or 6 meters, which is what, like 30, 40 feet. And once they do it, it gets in their eyes, and bears are more sensitive in their nose and their eyes. But if they get it in their nose, it hurts them so much, pain right away, that they'll turn around and they'll, unless they're like trying to protect their cubs or something, they'll turn around and get the heck out of there. Making noise also helps. Those bells are not so helpful because the people with the bells are the ones getting eaten, I've seen. So the bells are not as helpful, but it's good to make noise. And every now and then you can get an air horn and blast that for a second or two. That'll get them away, but I don't know. There's lots of stuff you could do. In the end, you can't really prevent fate. If I was ever going to go out, it would be fighting off a bear. But again, you don't have like, it's not a fair fight, all right? They got claws and they got teeth. I would need at least two survival knives, and wouldn't even be fair because I don't have brute strength. But I got speed, but they got more speed. I don't know. I would not win that fight. Jeffrey Kennedy, thank you. As Jeffrey just got the postcard too. I sent out a couple. We get I don't have have one here. I sent out a couple yesterday. People who just signed up. I appreciate that, Jeffrey. Jeffrey's my buddy on Instagram. We trade funny stories every now and then. And there keeps our spirits high to laugh a little bit. Speaking of bears, there's one right over there. I'm not talking about that guy. I don't even think I could take that one. Be honest with you, I probably could not take that bear. He looks, despite the shirt, I think he could take me, but I think he'd take a lot of people. Don't know. No, he'd take. He's smaller than me, but I think he would take me in a fight. I need a survival knife. And even then, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I'd probably just wave it around, try to hope that the sunlight gleams off of it into his eyes and gives him pain. I could yelp like a bear. Do they yelp? Don't say a bear can take you. Oh, you mean like that? Oh, I thought like take him down. Like I could take him on in a fight. That's what I meant. But literally, yeah, the bear would take me away into the woods and drag me. Is that what you mean? I love the live stream comments. They're great. They really are. The weather in Tokyo is about 96 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a wind blowing though. So it's not. Take your friend. Carrie, that's the smartest thing anyone said in here. My buddy Melon Kuma, who has attacked me regularly, I think if a bear attacked, he might take the side of the bear. I wonder if a real bear. Melon Kuma is actually, I believe he's got a. I don't know if he's got a emoji here for the chat. I don't know. Do we? Is there Melon Kuma bear chat here? I don't even know if that's legal. I don't know. He's a friend of mine, but yeah, he regularly attacks me. But he's really big and he's inflatable, so and there's a really human inside. Sorry, kids. But if Melon Kuma were to be, and his head is like a melon, meant to encounter a real bear, how would the real bear react to seeing Melon Kuma? This is what we should all be thinking about. Types of bears in Japan: grizzlies versus the black bears in the U.S. The types of bears in Japan, they have Asiatic black bears and brown bears. And the ones in Hokkaido, I believe, are brown. Flush them down. They are really rough. They're the ones that have tempers and more likely to attack. So Hokkaido bears have a bigger temper, but the black Asiatic bears are more and more. Recently, they would stay the heck away from people, but recently they're getting a flavor for, or not as afraid, or the population is increasing so much that there's a lot of cubs around, and so there's a lot of territory, and they're getting a lot more. Bears are smart, man. You don't want to tangle with them. I wanted to go back to this here. Again, we had in July 3.4 million tourists. Let's talk about this just a little bit, and we'll go back into free talk here. 3.4 million tourists. It's basically, I think it would have been 4 million had not been for the rumors of an earthquake, which never came true. It's almost September now. Where's this earthquake? I'm not trying to tempt fate here, but I don't think that you should. A prophecy should not be a reason why you stay away from a place. I think that they should have sued that person. I don't like suing, but in this case, I'd say at least 500,000 tourists stayed away because of it. I'm serious, because they're from the neighboring countries that are more. How should I put this? Going to soothsayers more than, let's say, in the West. They believe more in the mythical world, perhaps, and people who see sightings and things like this. So the number would have been about 4 million. So in that, I think we would have hit close to 50 million had it not been for this. So I think we're going to get about 43, 44 million. That's a lot, considering we didn't even get 10 million like 10 years ago, right? So it's huge. So everybody wants to cash in Japan on this if they can. This concerned me. So this comes from Kyoto News. I love Kyoto News. This was last week. This temple in near Fukuoka has foreigner-only entrance fees. It's a temple, so I think only in Kyoto do they have fees, but it's mostly for like the facilities and stuff. But it's 300 yen per person. But per person means foreigner only. They're not taking it from the Japanese that come. All right, and it's free for under 18. Well, that's very nice of you. I'm under 18. This is in Sasaguri in Fukuoka. It's starting to get a debate here in Japan. Here, it has a 41-meter long reclining Buddha. So most of the visitors are coming from neighboring countries, in particular China, which loves this kind of tourism to temples, which they also have. The sign reads visitors in English, but it's actually for foreign tourists, which is not exactly transparent, I think. Japanese people are not charged. I guess because maybe it's a religious thing. If you go in a cathedral and you're a worshiper of that temple, I'm not sure you need to be charged, right? But are you from Japan? They don't even staff verbally asking questions like this before directing them. So if you say if you're from Japan, you get to, I guess because you can't really tell just based on the way person looks here. But the head monk said that the number of foreign guests have surged since the pandemic and bringing more litter. This is true though. Bringing more litter, drinking fireworks use onto the premises, and misusing the bathroom facilities. Not everybody knows how to use a squatter toilet, I guess. But the next line is very interesting. I'm going to pause it there. We want someone to take responsibility for the extra costs of cleaning and security, said the head monk. It is not discrimination. Really? Are you from Japan? Yes? Okay, please go ahead. Are you from Japan? No. Okay, well, you must pay 300 yen. I think that's discrimination. If they just were transparent, this is what pisses me. I'm never really pissed off. Even when I do get angry, after like 3 seconds, it's over. But you don't want to test me because I could have a mean streak. I would fight, and I would fight dirty. It's survival, all right? Talking about bears. But my point is I don't really have much of a temper, and I do get angry, but it melts away after 5 seconds because it's a wasteful emotion. It's good to let out a little bit of steam, and then you got to pivot back to being balanced, based. But if they were just transparent, people would just pay, all right? You can ask for donations and saying in English, say we would like donations to help maintain our facilities. They'd probably get more money. I'd probably put 1,000 yen in there and say, keep up the good work, all right? There's a tip. I don't tip at restaurants, but I would tip a temple that is keeping really good facilities for tourists, in fact, doing a job that perhaps the municipality should be doing, right? But to say to do it in a kind of not clear way, I think is disappointing to me. It does make me a little angry. I think it should make everybody a little bit angry. Just be honest about this stuff, you know what I mean? I learned this at too late of an age, I think. It was more or less in college that you do better, you get more if you're just honest and don't use words that are always that you believe are beneficial to you. Sometimes you have to be honest and not benefit all the time. And when you do that, people respect you a lot more because everybody is trying to be dishonest. And when someone is really honest and in particular, they're saying something that doesn't benefit them, that's a friend. That's somebody you can trust. That's somebody you could work with. And I found in college, it became an asset. It felt really good. Don't lie to girls. Don't lie to. It doesn't work out into your benefit. In the end, you just cause more problems. Don't lie to people. I'm not perfect, but if you're honest up front more often, there are times where you have to tell white lies. Just say it like it is. You're not going to get in trouble. I said the other day, if you have tattoos, like really small ones, I said, if they don't bring it up, don't offer the information, because you're giving them an excuse not to give you the service based on the rules that they have that they don't really want to follow, but they're there in place. There's like don't ask, don't tell policy with small tattoos. If you have a small tattoo, like I got this little tattoo on my hand, don't tell them about it and say, I got a tattoo, is this okay? It's a birthmark. You don't have to say every single little teeny thing. If you have a little tattoo on your shoulder, it's okay. No one's going to think that you're a gangster. That's what really the reason why they don't have the tattoos, okay? They have to be consistent with it. But in Japan, rule is a rule. The rule is a law. It's like religion. I hate to say this. I don't know if I should say it. When I was in college, I dated somebody who was from Korea. It didn't last very long. She was Christian, but her interpretation of the Bible was literal, like literal. No reading between the lines. These were the laws. You can't break them, bend them. To her, it was like literal. And I don't want to generalize this, but for many people here, The law is the law, and it literally says no tattoos, so no tattoos are allowed, even though it's a tattoo of Pikachu that's so cute. Literal. So, yeah, our relationship did not last very well, especially when I went to visit in Korea. That was a really tough experience. 26 years ago, yeah, it was weird. So it's like, okay, you have an apartment. Okay, well, I'll just sleep on the floor then, or whatever. No, you can't. You can't be in the same lodgings. I said, okay, well, where should I stay? Should I get a hotel? I don't have a lot of money. No, you can stay with my cousin, who I rarely talk to and see, but he's understanding. All right, that was a weird, like couple of days, and then I stayed with her cousin. And her cousin's father, he didn't speak a lot of English, but her cousin's father did. And he was just like this entrepreneur guy, always looking at business ways, trying to take advantage. And he's like, well, you can come to Korea and teach English, help me start a school, and then we're going to do all this stuff here. So why don't you do that? We're going to do this. We're going to start a business together. I just came here to see her, but all right, I'm just leaving now. I ended up leaving. And we had great breakfasts, though. Her cousin's mother cooked some amazing food, though. Like home-cooked Korean meals are maybe the best. They're really good. Look at all the green here in Tokyo. I've had some really interesting experiences in my life. I've seen so much. Before I turned 30 years old, I'd traveled around the world 5 times, staying in like $1 a night places in Cambodia. I don't know. I got to see Eastern Europe right after the wall came down, when it was dirt roads, horse and buggy, the old communist cars, the old Soviet cars. I shouldn't say communist cars, the old Soviet cars with a lot of personality. People who couldn't speak, the older generation spoke only Russian, and the younger generation spoke only English. And they're like doing weird things. The world has changed quite a bit. Yeah, I know that there's somebody over there. That's why I'm kind of pointing it up to the trees now. In Cambodia, it was $1 a night in Phnom Penh. I stayed there for like 5 days. It was great. The 5th day, I kind of left. I went to Sihanoukville, I think that's in the south, with a friend that I met at the youth house, at the guest house. But I also noticed, I mean, it was so cheap back then. The most expensive thing was the admission to Angkor Wat. Like for $5, I would be in the back of a pickup truck, and I got across the border to Thailand in a pickup truck all the way to Angkor Wat for like $5. And I always carried a pack of cigarettes with me, even though I didn't smoke. And I would take the pack of cigarettes and I would give one to the driver, and then he'd go like this. So I give him another one. I was Marlboro. And he put one in his ear for later, and he would start smoking one. And we had like this understanding. That was better than money. You could save a lot of money having a pack of cigarettes. And the only problem is I never carried matches, which is an issue sometimes. But you always had to carry some kind of a tip rather than money. Cigarettes. Marlboro was the American Marlboro was the choice. But it was interesting time to travel back then. It was not easy. But I think that's what adventure is supposed to be all about here. I want to get some of the questions here before we end it. We're talking about accommodation prices and taxes that are going on here. I thought I saw a super chat pop up here. I was so grateful for that. Yeah, I'm kind of off of the Gorn Brother flat cap Satrio because they've made them all fast fashion and changed the designs of everything. The hats, they're the same price or more expensive, and the quality is like half as good as what it used to be, which I'm okay with, but it's not for me. That's a complete nonsensical comment. I still buy it every now and then, but I don't like them. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think somebody's son took over a father's business, and they ruined it. All right, any questions before we tune this off here? I do think that there's a lot of, it's gonna be very interesting to see 2026. This year is kind of a wash. 2026 is gonna be a year where a lot of plans that they came up with over tourism at the end of 24 and 2025 start to take hold. And it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out. I've been redoing some of the thumbnails here. This is the one from the Yamagata postal worker. I don't know, what do you guys think? The people weren't clicking on it anymore, so I have to find a way to keep everything real interesting here. Cutting out images and putting them together in Photoshop takes a lot of time. But if you haven't seen this one, it's a really good story of a post office box. The guy walks approximately 1 million steps a year, all right, on his postal route, because they put a mailbox at the top of a mountain, and he goes basically just to clear the mail out of that one post box. It's a crazy story. I kind of like making that one, but I gotta. When you're a YouTuber and you put a lot of work into your videos, you have to put a lot of work in also promoting them. So the main channel is another one from this one. This is all live streams. And my wife, one of the reasons I didn't do a live stream recently is my wife dragged me willingly to go see Disney on Ice. And you can see there's Leo watching Disney on Ice. And we went to Yokohama for it. They're really having a good time. I'm sitting next to them. I tried not to fall asleep, which is why I'm doing it. They did a pretty good job. There's Olaf. They had this Buzz Lightyear and Woody. I heard that Toy Story 5 is coming out in 2026. I'm kind of excited about that. There's the Genie. Man, I miss Robin Williams. Oh God, I miss Robin Williams so much. There's that Encanto, which that Don't Talk About Bruno thing. It's a good song. Jiminy Cricket. It's maybe Grandpa's age. Yeah, a lot of stuff happening here. Disney on Ice in Manila is every December. Really? Let me put it like this. I paid like $250 for those tickets. So they're doing pretty good. They do 3 shows a day, which is brutal. These people work really hard, so I'm sure they deserve it. Yeah, Encanto was really good. I think was that Ecuador? I'm not quite sure, but yeah, Encanto was a really good movie. I'm not going to be seeing that Snow White one, but they kind of went overboard. But Encanto was really good. It was really good. I like the characters. I like the Bruno thing. It was good. JQ Adventure. I keep thinking every year, maybe 3 or 4 times, I just think about Robin Williams. Like, what if he was here? I mean, I grew up with him. Every time you saw him, you just were happy. He's just so talented. But the funniest and most talented people also have the biggest mood swings. Oh, we don't talk about him. Yeah. That's one way to get Leo to be quiet. He says, Leo, we don't talk about him. We don't talk about anything. Just look around. I think they knew that was going to happen. Illuminads is here. Illuminads. I love how the discussions always end up completely different directions. I'm kind of reacting to the live stream chats as well. I think it's important because this is different medium. I can walk around a little bit. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Do you think I could really take that bear? I mean, take him like in a fight. Let's go take others. Someone's taking a picture with him. I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason that I moved from the cooling fans from the beginning of this live stream was that a security guard came out, and I knew that he saw me filming, and there's like off a sidewalk thing, and I knew that despite the subway being there, it's also like the building's property, and they're probably really strict about it. So I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I looked back at him, and then I slowly moved to be polite, but I still sort of stayed at that bench. So you can see there's like the steam coming. So you have to be, it's sometimes sensitive. He's just doing his job. I think I could take him down. Okay, let's just go take a quick look-see. All right, first, height. He's here on me. Weight. I think he's got more girth. What I don't have are these fingernails here, or should I say claws of death. And we don't see the fangs, but I'm guessing he's got really bad fangs. Like, really bad fangs. Broad-shouldered. Does he remind you of anybody? I could maybe. It wouldn't be a fair fight. He's got claws. And I'm on his turf. So I would just, you know what? I just would spray him. Illuminati, this is just for you, okay? Because I would love to meet you in Switzerland. We're thinking about going to Zurich for the. All right, this is just for Illuminati. Yeah. Looks better on Smokey. He needs a hat. I'm sure it's not gonna be this the shade for all the time. And I know that the light does reflect off of the glass here. We're having some fun. Oh, that's what live streams are supposed to be all about. I know I could do this in 15 minutes or less, but we got to have some fun when we're doing this. Right? Don't you guys think so? I think so. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. Take care of everybody at home. It's still the weekend in the United States. It's Sunday, so pretty much we're the end of the day, end of the weekend here. I got to get back to work on tomorrow. Today, I got the Mount Fuji episode. I rode the bulldozers. So the bulldozers is the lifeline of Mount Fuji. It's about that and the post office and the businesses and some of the services there. So we're going to talk about that in the main channel episode. I'm editing that right now. I got the Yamagata cherry episode. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to release it for a bit because the harvest was so bad this year. And this is where you could write in where you're from if you're kind of shy writing in. It's kind of fun just to get on your smartphone or whatever, and you can write, you know, Calgary. Okay, if you have a hat like this, you fit in Calgary up there in Alberta. Yeah, I forget what I was saying. It can't be that important. Anyways, take care of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow in another episode as I take you to. I might actually do another walking episode tomorrow. So it'll be Monday. If the weather's good and it's nice outside, I'll try to get out in the AM and take you around a neighborhood that I have not been to, that I went by yesterday with Kanai and Leo. I was thinking, boy, it would be really nice if I showed people that one. So why don't I do that tomorrow and or on Tuesday and show you something completely new in one of our fun walking tours, which we have not been doing enough of because they're just fun, just really hot. Isn't that so cool that they still have these telephones? Look at how big the numbers are. It's because of people, the older people and people with big fingers. But you need to have a telephone card, which you can get at the convenience stores. It's good, and they're really thin. It's good to, if you live in Japan, just a word of advice, it might be a good idea to have a telephone card in case there's an emergency or disaster. You'll be able to call out using the landlines. I have a telephone card that has about 400 yen left on it. I hope it's still good. I bought it in 1999 or 2000, but I know it has 400 yen on it because mentally it's been in my head for 20 years or more. My bicycle's down there. All right, everybody, take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Mata ne.